Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Black Mirror's interactive movie called Bandersnatch.
Yep. So kind of a game, kind of not a game, but really cool.
Yes.
So jumping in, the description is, in 1984, a young programmer begins to question reality as he adapts a dark fantasy novel into a video game. It's a mind-bending tale with multiple endings.
All right, so just kind of some background on this. This was released by Netflix, and it's directed by David Slade, who did the 30 Days of Night movie, which is awesome.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's sweet. And also did some episodes of American Gods and Hannibal, which those are cool shows. It's written by Charlie Brooker, who's the creator of Black Mirror and has written a lot of their episodes. So that's cool that he got his hands in this new media venture thing,
Yeah.
I guess. Then some characters. We've got Fionn Whitehead as Stephen Butler. That's your main character, your playable character, essentially.
He looks really familiar.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So he's in Dunkirk. He was in Him.
Yeah.
We've got Will Poulter as Colin Rittman. He's in the Maze Runner series. He was in The Revenant. He was in Son of Rambo.
Yeah, I forgot about The Revenant. Yep, he looked really familiar too.
Yeah. He's cool. I like him. You've got Asim Chaudhry as Mohan Thakur. He's in some BBC shows, High and Dry and Click and Collect. So not familiar with them, but with Black Mirror being BBC original before it came to Netflix.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I think the first 2 seasons are BBC, and then Netflix bought it or took it over or something.
That's crazy.
After that. Yeah, so they work with a lot of British actors, I think. So sometimes there are people I don't know that probably people there do know. Then we've got Craig Parkinson as Peter Butler. He was in Line of Duty and Whitechapel. Again, I think BBC shows. And then last, Alice Lowe as Dr. Haynes. She's in Sightseers and This Is Jinsey. So, and then also, I read this, I think, in an article by IGN. So the average viewing of this movie is 90 minutes, but the quickest path can end in 40 minutes, if you just, I guess, clicked everything, quote unquote, right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's over 150 minutes of unique footage divided into 250 segments. So there's really a ton of different footage. Even if you went through and did all your options, there's a lot of new footage that you would see throughout it. So that's kind of cool that there's that much recorded material or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we're going to go into our recap. So, of course, spoiler-filled, very, very much so.
Yeah, whole thing.
Yeah. I imagine we will spoil all the unique endings, or most of them, and various things along the way. So if you've not played this, definitely go do it.
Yep.
It's super fun. Yeah, so do that. But otherwise, proceed with caution. We're going to spoil stuff. It starts off with this kind of introduction to interactive stories to see if you know how to do it. So it's like, this story will be crafted by what you choose to do, and that kind of thing. Which, of course, having played plenty of games like this,
You're like, yep.
Yeah, well familiar.
Let's move on.
But I like that they did that just because I'm assuming there's a lot of people who don't play video games who potentially did this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot, is that this opened up this medium, I would say, to a bunch of people. Like, you'd think your mom could get on Netflix almost and potentially do this. You know, like that kind of thing. It could relate to those instead of being people who are our age or people who like video games already. But that, theoretically anyone with a Netflix could be like, oh, I'll try this out and get into it, which is cool. So it does that once you confirm that you understand what's going on.
Yep.
The film begins. It's July 9th, 1984. This is cool already as your setting being 80s, and I don't know. As you go through 80s music.
I love the 80s music.
Yeah,
it's
the
great.
80s music, the 80s feel, 80s video games, like everything. It's cool. They chose a very good intro, I think, to doing something like this. So it starts, you have breakfast, you get your first choice, which is funny, it felt very Telltale. Your first choice seems insignificant.
Yeah, you're like, this is stupid, this is so easy.
Right, you choose which cereal you want. And
Frosties or
sugar wheats or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Kellogg's Frosties.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different.
Yeah.
Which one did you choose?
I think I chose Frosties.
Me too. I like the name.
Yeah. It gives you that choice, and I'm sure the skeptics are all like, oh, what is? But just you wait.
Yep. So far, yes. You're right.
Yeah. You talk to your dad. It's clear that you have something big going on today. You end up riding the bus. I think you get to choose which music you listen to there,
Yep.
maybe. And then you end up at this new game developing studio, and you're there to pitch your game.
It's like Tucker Studios, I think.
Yeah. And so you're there, and there's a guy whose name is it's
Colin Rittman.
Yeah, Colin Rittman is the famous game guy, and then Mohan Thakur, he's the boss,
CEO?
yeah, CEO,
Owner?
something like that.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the money, clearly, and the boss. But Colin kind of thinks he's lame a little bit. I think that he doesn't quite know what he's doing. Colin's like the game expert, legend at making games. And I think that, I'm guessing he just the owner gave him a bunch of money to be there.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So it's kind of like, all right, I'm here and I'm going to do what I want. And, and he's kind of annoying too.
Yeah, like Colin's like trying to code a video game and the owner comes up and like messes with him and takes his music and is like making fun of him. It's like,
Right, he's like too chummy, like get out of my way.
Like, this dude trying to make you money. Get out of here.
Right, yeah. So he felt like he was kind of like a nice guy but annoying boss. He was kind of that.
Yep.
And so so they grab Colin, and so Stefan needs to pitch his game to them. And you pitch it, you describe it. It is called Bandersnatch, off of this fantasy novel that you had. And
Choose your own ending fantasy novel.
Choose your own ending fantasy novel, which sounds cool. Bandersnatch was a real thing, and I would want to be reading it right now. This got me more interested in. We obviously like Choose Your Own Adventure anyway, but this made me want it more. I'm like, all right, maybe I got to pick up some books. Or
Yeah, I did like a Goosebumps one back in the day when I was in like probably middle school. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of how they portray it in the movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's awesome. So he pitches it. It's this fantasy series where there's a monster called the Pax or whatever, and
The demon.
yeah, it's a demon of sorts, and the dude is renowned for having like a crazy end of his life. He chopped his wife's head off, crazy stuff like that. And so you say it's based off of this book, and that it's going to be choose your own adventure style in the game, because the book was too. So that's kind of cool. You see that Colin is like, oh, isn't that the guy who killed himself? Like that's his impression. And you're like, yeah, but it's pretty good. Like, and so then ultimately you're offered a job by the owner. We can get you your own team. You can work here. We'll give you money. We can get this shipped out by Christmas. We're in.
Which sounds really appealing.
Which sounds awesome.
If I was in his shoes, I'd be like, yep, sure.
Right. And so you have the option to accept his offer or refuse it. I chose to accept it.
Me too. First playthrough.
So we accept it. What happens is it continues. The game ends up ultimately being rushed. You work on a team, and then you're watching the TV of...
review, they review video games.
Yeah, it's like a review video game show. Yeah. And so the guy comments that it felt rushed. It seems like it was put together by a bunch of different people. It wasn't done well. 0 out of 5.
Yeah, which is bad.
Bad. Then the game makes you go back. You have to go back, and it's interesting because you don't have to relive all of it. It gives you the highlights, so it goes pretty fast through it. Okay, you want this cereal. Like it records what you did before, and you're back at the office. And you go, but you start to notice subtle differences.
Yep.
You talk to Colin, and you're like, oh, it's based off of Bandersnatch by this guy. And he's like, oh, I've read Bandersnatch. It's very good, blah, 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 blah. And then the owner instead says, oh, isn't that the guy who killed himself?
Yeah.
And Colin's like, nah, he's great. So you already see these changes.
Yeah, it's also weird because when you first are introduced to Colin, Colin's like, have we met before? But in the previous playthrough, he has never met you, obviously.
Has never met you, has never read the book, and thinks the guy's just a crazy guy.
Yep.
Instead, the second go-around, he's like, oh, yeah, he was a genius. The owner's the one who's like, oh, isn't he a crazy guy?
He takes the knowledge from the previous playthrough, which is...
Right.
Should be totally separate and removed.
Right.
But he knows it.
He somehow knows it as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, wait, what the hell?
Noted.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, did they learn from that? New timelines?
What's happening?
It's gotten the gear spinning, which is cool. You end up back, and so you get that decision again. You pitch the game. Colin gets it more, but like he rolls with you a lot better. He
Yeah.
seems to understand your vision for the game, whereas before it seemed like he was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're given the choice again, accept or refuse. This time, I refused. I'm assuming
Same.
you did.
Yep.
Yeah. So you refuse. Instead, what you say is, no, like I do want you to make the game, but I'm going to do it on my own. I don't want to work in the office. I want to just, do it myself because, I've got my vision and I want to see it through.
Do it, basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And the owner's like, I don't know about that. And Colin's like, I'm the same way. I think this is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. So I think that kind of sways the owner. He's like, all right, cool. Do you? You've got this deadline of, I don't know, September 12th or something like that.
22nd.
Yeah. You've got a deadline in the fall.
Yeah. Before Christmas.
Before Christmas, you got to get all the code here so we can get it ready to release on Christmas still. After this, you end up in your therapist office. It goes from there, and you're speaking to her, and she asks you if you want to talk about a childhood toy that you have.
Rabbit.
Yeah, it's a rabbit.
Yep.
And you can say yes or no. I think ultimately it does make you say yes.
It gives you backstory.
Yeah, you get backstory. What you end up finding out in this is that you had this toy rabbit, and there was a day when you were supposed to go on a train with your mother to see her family, and you wouldn't go because you couldn't find your rabbit. And you went everywhere with your rabbit. It was like the childhood toy.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that out, and then you find out that your mom was late to going there because she was waiting for you to look for your rabbit. You couldn't find it. You ultimately stay home. She rides the train to her family's, but the train derails. A bunch of people die, including her.
Yep.
Horrible.
Yep.
Very, very Black Mirror to do to you.
Yep. And you find out, too, that your dad took the rabbit from you, like, while you were sleeping and like, hid it or got rid of it somewhere. Because he felt like it was like a sissy toy or something.
Right.
Like like probably a 6-year-old boy at this point. He's like, he doesn't need that rabbit.
Right.
And then he takes it. So then going forward, you're kind of pissed at your dad for kind of putting in motion all the events that killed your mom.
Right.
Sort of.
Right. Because you also, when you had the choice of in there, ask you if you want to go with your mom while you're looking for the rabbit, and your only choice is no.
Yep, it's not really a choice.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel more ownership and worse for it.
Yeah.
That was a good use of making you choose a choice you don't have.
Yep.
You're like,
Yep.
I feel awful. Yeah, so your dad hides it, and so there's this resentment you obviously have towards him that you hid my rabbit, which I did care about, and you did it, which is shitty. But then also, Mom ended up getting killed as kind of a byproduct related to this. We would have been on the earlier train together with my rabbit if you were just left him. Mm-hmm. Instead, we're on the later one, and it's your fault.
It's your fault, Dad. You killed Mom.
It's your fault.
And ruined a rabbit.
Yeah, and ruined a rabbit.
Rabbit's gone.
Yeah. So then, you're working on your game. You're having a freak out at home. You have an option here to, I think, destroy your computer or yell at your dad.
Yep. And if you destroy your computer here, it's over.
The game just ends?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't do that. So
I didn't
good
either.
to know.
I just, because I
Yeah.
Googled it.
Yeah. So I didn't destroy the computer. Instead, I ended up choosing to yell at my dad because I was like, well, I can't not have the game go out.
Yep. So it was like the lesser of two evils.
That's what
kind
it
of
seemed like.
Yeah.
I guess maybe with what comes forward, maybe that was the better thing to have happen.
Yeah.
So we yell at my dad. We yell at him, and he ends up... I thought this was a good example of a fight. We yelled at him, but he didn't, he understood what was going on, kind of, and seemed to understand. It was like, no, we should go to lunch. You need to rest. Try to just imagine him, being super strung out working on this game. Imagine he does need rest. He probably does need to eat food, all that stuff.
Yep.
So he says, I'm going to take you to lunch. We're like, all right, cool. And then he takes us to lunch, but instead... It's actually, we're just in front of the therapist office.
Yeah, tricks us.
It's
never good.
Yeah, which it wasn't cool. So we have the option to either go see our therapist, or we see Colin walking by, and we can leave and just go follow Colin. Mm-hmm. I ended up going with Colin. Did you go with Colin as well?
First playthrough too, yep.
Yeah, I went with Colin at first. I think retrospectively, if I would have thought more about that I obviously have a therapist, and that's who it was too, maybe I would have went there. But I was caught off guard by being taken somewhere I wasn't told.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like I'm being taken to, like a psych ward, and I'm like, no, like, you know. But if it was more like, hey, you should go see Alice, or Alice is the actress's name, Dr. Haynes.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like, hey, go talk to Dr. Haynes, and I like remembered that, maybe I would have just been like, oh, I know them. But it felt more antagonistic because I was like, what are you doing? You know, to me. But I think that was a me being dumb thing.
No, that's fair. Yeah. So also in my playthrough, I played with like a group of guys. There's a lot of guys. We were like all contributing to the decisions.
Okay.
So I think probably 90% were like, go with Colin, he's cool, like whatever.
Okay.
And I was one of those people. So I didn't even think. I was like, yeah, Colin, go with Colin.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. If I would have stepped back and was like, all right, therapists are good. We go to one for a reason. Should probably talk to her.
Right.
Would have done that.
Yeah, I think because it felt sprung on me, my mind went to like a worse version of that. Like, oh, you're putting me somewhere I don't want to be, versus here's a therapist I have a relationship with and I want to talk to them. Mm-hmm. You know? Went with Colin, and so you go with Colin, and shit gets trippy.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did for the rest of the game, because this Colin section was pretty good.
Yep.
I would say. So you go with Colin, you end up talking with him, you find out he has a family.
Yep.
He's got a baby, he's got a wife who's got like pink hair.
Yeah, she's interesting.
Yeah.
Her name's Kitty.
Yeah. You meet them, you end up sitting with Colin, and she's like, oh, you're in a rut. And Colin's like, yeah, I'm going to help him get out of the rut or whatever. And so you're like, cool, he's going to help me. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the man at video games is going to help me get out of that. And before, we talked to him about music when we first met him. And so it's like, all right, this guy seems to like know how to get in the groove. Mm-hmm. That was the vibe. And so we sit down with him in like a side room away from his family. He pulls out some
I think it's acid.
yeah, I was going to say acid.
It's
tabs. I think it's acid. So
I think
probably
it's acid.
tabs.
Yep.
So you take this, you're going to be able to get there. So you have the option to do it or not do it. I decided to trust Colin, and I did it.
Me too. Which I don't know what happened if you didn't do it.
I looked online, and apparently he just drugs you.
Oh, cool.
Which is interesting. I want to go back and see that, because I wouldn't think he'd be the kind of guy to do that.
Yeah,
but
he seems like he's pretty into like not pressuring people.
Yeah, so I was surprised to read that online.
Also, did you notice on the tab, it had like you know what PAX looks like?
Yeah.
It had PAX on the tab.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yep. Real weird.
So you take acid. You're both laughing. It's kind of that for a bit.
Yeah, you're tripping. Good trip.
Yeah, you're tripping. And then, do you have another drug option in here?
No, I think you smoked weed before this.
Okay.
But then, like, the biggest things, for sure, acid.
Acid, yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe you smoke weed and then you do acid. Mm-hmm. Something like that, a progression.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Now you're going to be able to, like, really game. So then you're on the porch overhang.
Balcony,
there we go. On the side of the apartment, and Colin's saying, no, this is all a simulation. There's multiple timelines.
Yeah, he goes on some crazy rant about Pac-Man 2.
Pac-Man
Program and Control.
Program and Control Man.
Yep.
That's what it is. He's stuck in a maze and he's eating things, and the man's chick, that. And you're like, all right, this is pretty trippy. Like,
yeah, and he like, the actor did that really well.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was convincing. I was like, man, fucking Pac-Man.
Yeah.
That's what it made you feel.
Goddamn right, Pac-Man's government conspiracy.
No, right. It made you feel like that. You're like, I don't know if I can look at Pac-Man the same way. Like, you kind of changed my view on that. I thought it was just like a nice guy eating dots.
Yeah, eating dots, getting chased by ghosties.
Yeah. right. That's what I thought before. But then his rant's pretty good. A very good crazy guy rant, I would say. Like, and maybe because of having it, I don't know, because you were on drugs before and all that. Like, it landed really well.
Yeah, so man, he might not be wrong though, because it's also Black Mirror. So you're like, he might be right, so I don't want to just totally write him off.
Yeah, I think that was the thing in this a lot, is that being familiar with Black Mirror, I'm like, all right, so maybe I'm supposed to make decisions I wouldn't, or all right, how am I supposed to? There was an influence from that.
They really got you
by nature.
Yep.
So then he says, it is, you could jump off this ledge, you'd be fine, or you'd just be on another timeline anyway. It's fine. We've got all these converging realities and things like that. So then, ultimately he says, okay, what's it going to be? Are you jumping or am I jumping?
Yeah.
So I jumped first.
Yeah, me too. So I trust you, Colin.
Yeah, I decided I was going to trust him.
Yep.
So I jump. and of course,
just die.
It cuts to the review, and the reviewer says that this game is, I think it was like a 3 out of 5. It was okay, but it was clearly put together by multiple people because the original creator died by jumping off a balcony.
Yep.
You're like, oh, that's me.
Yep.
So, over. So then it goes back to choosing to go to the therapist office or going with Colin. Mm-hmm. I went with Colin again.
Me too.
So you go with Colin, same stuff happens. You end up back on the balcony. All right, me or you?
Like, you, dude, you jump.
Yeah, so I said you, and he jumps. You see him splat.
Yep.
That was insane.
I was surprised.
Yeah, and then you're like freaking out, and you walk back inside, and his wife says, "Where's Colin?" And you're like, he jumped. I think then you get sent back again, right? From here. Or do you end up in the therapist office for a minute?
I think you end up just finishing the game.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what happens.
I don't think he goes back. I think that Colin does. I think he is dead. I think you do get sent back to like the therapist office, but I think it's because the game is like finished, or you just decide not to release it, or Tucker software goes out of business or something. Something like that happens. Okay. Either the game gets released and it sucks, or it doesn't.
Okay.
But
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Tucker closes and that's over.
Yeah.
That might be right. So then you end up back at your decision again. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the therapist.
Mm-hmm. To be honest here, I did. I went with Colin 3 times in a row, and I jumped 3 times in a row. Just to see, like, will it be different this time? It was never different.
Never different.
Then I went a 4th time and let Colin jump, and it was same thing. But then I went with therapist.
Okay. Then at the therapist, she ultimately prescribes you more pills, describing that, she's like, it's good you're aware of these feelings. This is a good sign, blah, blah, blah. You just need stronger medicine, essentially. Yeah. So that's cool. Then you end up in another decision. You can choose to either take your pills, or you can choose to flush them, or you can throw them away, I think is one of them. I think there's a couple variations here. I think when I had it, mine were flush or throw away.
Yeah, mine, I had no I think if you...
Maybe if you just go straight there.
If you go straight there, you have the option to take it or not.
Okay.
Which I didn't do.
Right, because going with Colin.
Yeah, with Colin 4 times.
Okay, so flush it or throw them away.
Yeah, I flushed mine, not the...
Yeah, I think I flushed mine too.
I wonder if you throw them away if your dad finds them.
I think they alter your paths a little bit.
Okay.
From my understanding. I didn't play that part again, though.
I didn't either.
So you do that, and at this point, shit gets pretty crazy. The branches go pretty far at this point.
Yep.
So I'll describe what happened in mine, and I guess Jordan can describe what happened in his, and we'll try to I guess, in our kind of quote-unquote main playthrough, but then we can kind of try to describe the other varied options, I guess. So... Because it just gets pretty wild.
There's a lot, yeah.
It gets pretty wild. There's a point where you're confused and you yell out and you say, "What's going on? Who's controlling me? I can't control anything." Mm-hmm. And you have 2 icons come up. One of them's like the dividing symbol or the branching path symbol.
About this too, it's interesting. It's also, have you seen the White Bear episode?
Yes.
It's also that symbol.
Oh, is that from White Bear? Okay. Mm-hmm. I saw that people were saying it was the White Bear symbol, and I watched White Bear, but I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it's related, but it's...
Okay.
There's like a bunch of connected things throughout the Black Mirror universe.
I saw that reading like a wiki or something. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Black Mirror connectedness, which I haven't watched all of Black Mirror. I've watched a good amount, but not all of it, so...
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I want to watch more now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For sure. So I think what mine started off with was you could do the branching path symbol / White Bear symbol, or Netflix. Those were the 2 options I had.
Same.
So I did the bear symbol, the branching path one. I did that. Ultimately, you end up finding this safe, and you can answer varying questions, and it ends up revealing what's in the safe. Can change. So for mine, I did the code I think I put in was... This is where you can put in different codes too. Mm-hmm. I think I put in toy, which gets the rabbit out. I ultimately take the rabbit out and... in my mind, travel back to the day that missing the train.
Yep.
I look for the toy. It's not there. And then I say, no, that's fine. We can just go without the toy.
Okay.
Ride the train. And, of course, die in that crash.
Yep.
And then it flashes to present time, and you're in the therapist office, and you, had an aneurysm or something. You
Yeah,
just die. You just
Yep.
die somehow. They're like, you were just there, and now you're not. So
Yep.
that was my ending. And I could see it coming. When it was going, I was like, you can go back from this. And I was like, no, this is probably the way this has got to be. Like,
Yeah, you gotta just go.
yeah, that's
should have happened.
that's what I decided was, all right, I'm gonna just do it, because also before this, there's a lot of options where you can attack your dad, and I didn't want to do those exactly. And so I was like, well, it seems like people will die no matter what, so maybe it should be my character. So that's what I ended up doing.
That's fair.
I don't know if that's good thing or not, but that's the route
That's
I went.
like the best end. Well,
I think that the computer being destroyed one is the best one,
it is. Or no, there's a better one.
where you pour the.
I
But
forget how. Anyway,
yeah, so that was my general kind of ending of how I went. So how would your kind of first playthrough, generally speaking, go?
yeah. So we people I did it with, we went like probably the craziest route you could go.
Okay, cool.
So let me think. So when we find this, we flush the pills. When we find the safe, so we have like this dream sequence where you're like in the dream and you find the safe. We had our two options were a code for Pax or Pac-Man.
Okay.
Which we entered Pax the first time, which didn't unlock the safe.
Okay.
And then at that point, like the Pax demon shows up in your dream and like kills you.
Okay.
Then you wake up.
I did that one.
Yeah. Then you wake up, and then I think at that point you're like freaking out, and then you see the symbol, and then I ended up doing the white bear symbol, the branching path symbol.
Right.
And then you have the option to kill your dad or not kill your dad. And killed my dad,
Right.
for sure. And you like bash him over the head with an ashtray.
Right.
And he like it's done immediately. And then from here, there's a bunch of different endings.
Right.
So I think my first playthrough, we decided we have the option to bury him or chop him up. And chopped him up.
Okay.
And then Colin comes over to like help you finish the game because your boss, what's his name, Tucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls you and he's like, was the game ready yet? And you're like, no. And then he sends Colin, and like Colin finds out you killed your dad, and then you have the choice to kill Colin or not kill Colin.
Oh shit.
Which my first playthrough didn't kill Colin because he's our guy.
Right.
And then he calls the cops on you.
Oh.
And then as you're like chopping your dad up, you go to jail.
Okay.
And then you're in jail forever. And then there's like you see like you're in jail watching TV, and you see the
game get released.
the game released, and it's like I think it gets they cancel it.
Oh.
They cancel it because I think they cancel it because you killed your dad.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't get finished. Or it gets finished and it gets like a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Can't remember. But there's also a billion different endings at this point. But I think that was my first ending.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're in jail and you kill your dad.
That's
and the game sucks
that's
because it doesn't get released.
that's a good one.
Yep.
I saw that there's one that I definitely want to play through it, because I did some of the branching stuff on the back, but I didn't explore all of it, so I definitely want to. But I saw that there's one that gets like super meta where you do Netflix and then like it gets more crazy.
Yeah, we did that one, our second one.
Okay.
So yeah, you pick Netflix for like, so yeah, you're like freaking out like who's controlling me, and then you say Netflix. And then you have a few options here where you can go into more detail of what Netflix is, what you're doing, who you are, or you can just be like, no, that's all you get. But in my playthrough, we went like, here's all the details you can have.
Right.
We'll give them all to you. And you tell your dad, hey, there's like this Netflix thing controlling me. And then your dad's like, let's go to the therapist. And you're like, okay. So it's more like normal.
Okay.
Then you get to your therapist. And then she's like asking you questions about, what you've experienced. And you're like, I think I'm being controlled by some Netflix thing. And she's like, trying to rationalize it. Like, if you're actually doing Netflix or in Netflix, wouldn't they want it to be crazier? Like, right now your life's pretty boring. Wouldn't you want it to be, if you're watching this, wouldn't you want it to be crazier? And you're like, the options are, I guess so, or like, fuck yeah. And you chose fuck yeah. So you flip the table over and you like punch her in the face or throw coffee on her. And your therapist pulls out these two like batons. And you start like kung fu fighting.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Then your dad comes in and like chokeholds you, like lifts you up with his one arm, and then you kick him in the balls, and you
awesome.
Like get out of there. Your dad drags you out, and you're like, "Yeah, how's that for fucking crazy? You're my Netflix friend. Like we fucked this shit up." And I think the game gets released or something, and then
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like the best ending.
That's so good.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it ends, but the meta ending for sure.
Yeah, that's so. I really like that, and that's like the most Black Mirror thing ever.
Yep.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Another ending I did get, actually, I think it was an ending, at least, is I went back through and instead of I went government conspiracy style through the safe, and then instead you find all these files, because Colin said that, everyone you know is actually a government agent, everyone's watching you. You open the safe, instead of the teddy bear being there, it's all these files, and so your dad's been watching you. And then you're in the therapist office describing it, and then it's a film set, and it's like...
Yeah.
That was fucking trippy. That was good.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this. Also in my original playthrough, did you get to the point where it, like, pans out, and you're, like, a game developer developing the game of...
Oh, shit, no.
Oh, yeah. So if you go the route I did where you, like, kill your dad, you don't kill Colin, the game doesn't get released, it, like, goes out even one layer deeper.
Oh,
and you're,
cool.
like, a game developer in, like, 2019, creating the game of... I'm blanking on his name.
Of Stefan.
Stefan. Creating the game, and you're, like, controlling Stefan in the game.
Whoa.
But then also you have a choice to control the game developer creating
No
the
fucking
game.
way.
Yeah, so you're like, then you make her portee on her computer, and the game ends. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's cool.
It's super weird. Yeah, so I think you only get that if...
Okay, I think I didn't go that far down that
Yeah.
path. That's cool.
I forget. Oh, and you're also Colin's daughter, who's developing the game.
Oh, whoa.
So it's really weird. Super weird. And that's kind of where it ends.
Okay, that's nuts. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
So yeah, that was... I have to Google that more because I'm not really sure
Yeah.
what that means, but...
That's cool. This is, I guess, a side point. I didn't see this. Maybe you did. But apparently there's a playable game that is inside of this game.
Did not see that.
Apparently, one of the endings, I guess how you go... I was reading about this online somewhere, and I guess that there ends up being a game that's in there, and someone online said, oh, it was like a WAV file, and I converted it to this other one, and then it was like a playable game that they could play on their computer that they were able to like download off of through Netflix on it, like a game.
What?
Yeah. And I don't know what the game was, but apparently there's like it looks like the game's in this, like an 80s style little thing, but yeah, apparently there's a game somehow that you can download from within inside it, which I'm guessing you need to be on a computer for that. I can't imagine your Netflix
your TV doing it.
Yeah, do that or whatever, but yeah, it sounded crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I mean, kudos to that guy. That's super cool. But
Yeah, dude, and then so I guess at this point too, if you man, I didn't see these endings, but if you can bury your dad or chop him up.
Right.
And if you bury your dad, you get a variety of different things. I think you can actually get the game released and it gets 5 stars.
Oh.
You still get arrested. Oh no, you have to kill Colin, bury your dad, and then the game gets released with 5 stars. But
then you end up getting caught later.
Yeah, anyway. But also there's other ways where if you do it right, your boss Tucker will come to your house and you can kill him. Or Colin's wife will come to your house and you can kill her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's like all these... I didn't see those two, but...
Lots of more kill endings.
Yeah, but there's also a weird ending too where I think if you go the route... Oh, yeah, if you go the route where... The meta route where you're like in the therapist's office, I think you also have an option to either fight your therapist or jump out the window.
Okay.
And if you choose to jump out the window, it actually ends there too, and it pans out, and you're actually... Stefan's an actor for Netflix, and they're like, Stefan, you're supposed to jump out... You're supposed to fight your therapist, not jump out the window. And he's like, I didn't want to. So then it ends there. So it's like super meta.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't see that one either, but I read about that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So many different endings.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's the movie, game, interactive story, whatever.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, whatever you would just choose to describe it as. But I guess some general thoughts. For me, one, I just really love that Netflix did this.
Yep.
I remember hearing about it a few months ago that they were going to do it, and I was like, cool, I want to mark that in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd seen, the day before it came out that they released a trailer, and people were like, oh, Black Mirror, new thing.
Yep,
Sounds
new thing.
cool, but it was cryptic. And then it came out, and everyone was like, holy shit, this is cool, and we're excited about it. And so, of course, we were excited. But they definitely should buy Telltale at this point, really. Like, I can't imagine Telltale cost very much money to buy at this point.
Nope, they have money.
And that, like, interactive stories, if done right, like, this could keep Netflix probably around even more.
For a long time.
Yeah, like if you're the streaming service that does this, because I mean, I feel like this showed it can work, obviously. And for Netflix, anyway, you know, like their TV shows, you can buy like Blu-ray and DVD versions of them at like Target or something. They release them that way. So if you're a non-Netflix streamer, you can still access the shows in a way that they make money. You could do the same thing with their games. You know, they could come on Netflix, but you could also sell them to make money on the side. And big Netflix, you have way fucking more money than Telltale's ever had. So you could actually pay for IPs, or you could just make your own thing, or whatever. But if you like literally, you could make an interactive story section on Netflix,
Or just have like a separate subscription for it too. Like,
yeah, whatever.
extra $5 a month gets you, you know, our games.
Yeah, anything like that.
I'd probably pay for.
Yeah, because I can't imagine that all the Telltale games that already exist, I bet converting them to Netflix wouldn't be that hard. Probably not. Or I guess even if it was like controller required, you could probably just, you know, here's this cheap one you can buy. Like you could probably do something to make it more accessible if people wanted. But
yeah, I'd be super into that.
I think they should. I mean,
They make good stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Right. And yeah, I don't know. I want to see more interactive stories in general, but
Yep.
Telltale seems like an easy way to do that. You have people who already have a lot of that skill set. You could just teach them how to apply it differently.
Yeah, I super agree. I think they should do a full season of Black Mirror on this, or something.
Yeah.
But I'd like Black Mirror because it seems like it's already kind of created to be interactive, because it's like a commentary on technology and society. So
Right.
if you made people like think about it but also interact with it more,
Right.
be really cool. So I would for sure. I think this was obviously a trial run to see how this goes. But
Yeah.
it sounds like, from what I've seen and heard, pretty popular.
Right.
So I could see them doing like a full season of Black Mirror or some show on
Yeah.
this, which would be wild. Like, imagine doing like I don't know how they do this, but like take like a linear story, like let's just say Walking Dead,
Right.
for a season, but it's like choose your own adventure for the whole season.
Right.
Like, that'd be holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but that'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah. It'd be insane. I almost hope, like, I would definitely want more Black Mirror, but even if you just did, like, okay, these 5 shows we have, we're going to release a one-off like this
Yeah, I'd be super into it.
related to it. Like,
I don't care what the show is, I'd do it.
Right. So if it was like, okay, here's our 5 best, you know, like if they've been canceling all of them, but like if they would have been like, oh, okay, here's a Daredevil one,
Yeah.
or something like that, or whatever their other most popular originals are. If you just made several interactive episodes of whatever those shows are, that'd be pretty sick.
Yep.
Like, and I bet people would like them. I don't know.
I'd like it.
Yeah, I would definitely do it. Also, doing this definitely wanted me to watch more Black Mirror. I think I've watched, just the first 2 seasons, actually. I don't think I've watched 3 or 4. So I've got a lot that I haven't seen. But so yesterday I started watching, I think the first episode of season 3, where it's the social media one, where you rate all your interactions with people.
Yeah.
And I only, like, I end up having to leave, so I watched maybe like 15 minutes of it, and I was already like, freaking out, because, you know, those aspects of social media I don't really like anyway.
Yep.
But then this show, like, you know, cranks it to 10.
Yep.
It's like on crack version.
Oh man, it's so good.
I'm just like, I hate all of this. Like, which Black Mirror makes me feel that way most of the time. And I think that's why I haven't watched all of them, is I try to space them out, kind of.
That's super mind-numbing. Or not mind-numbing, but like ruins you.
Yeah, the opposite. Like, they fuck you up. And like, I don't want to binge that and waste that experience by watching like 4 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think I try to watch 1 or 2 and then not watch any more that day or something like that. Like, space them out a little bit so that they impact as much as they do.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, I love Black Mirror. I think I've seen like probably 3/4 of it, or 2/3 of it. So there's some I haven't seen, because not that I've heard they're bad, some episodes, but they're not as good as other ones I've seen.
Right.
They've kind of just put it on the back burner.
Right.
But yeah, this for sure made me want to just go through and just knock them out, finish them up.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they just release more of this stuff. Which I'm sure they'll keep releasing Black Mirror, because it's extremely popular and really well done.
Yeah, I saw that season 5 is coming out next year.
Oh, sweet.
So
Like early next year?
it didn't say.
Okay.
But so some people were like, "Oh no, is this season 5?" Like, And they're like, no, this is just a standalone thing. Like, we're still doing season 5.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they'll add some more of this into it.
maybe. That'd be kind of cool. Even if they just released, 7 episodes and then the 8th one was
Hey, yeah.
one of these or something. Like that'd be cool. But
yeah, I guess that's my next thought. Is like, do you think this is the future of TV, or relatively, it will be more normal in TV, or
I think it should
streaming at least.
It might be. I was on, I think Friday when I woke up, and I was thinking about it. I was like, this might be like the
beginning of.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have any money to invest on a topic.
Yeah.
But if I could, I might invest it here because I was like, because part of me was like, video games obviously do this better than TV. Like there was things about this that wasn't as good as some of the video games we've played.
Of course, yeah.
But Netflix and TV is way more universal than video games. Video games, I think
more accessible.
They're more accessible versus video games is maybe a part of nerd culture that hasn't left, like it hasn't gone quite mainstream. It sort of is, but like instead a lot of the popular video game stuff is MMOs, like anything online.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, like a Call of Duty or Halo or something like that.
Yeah,
like
which are fine.
Well, yeah, they're cool. They're definitely cool. But instead it seems like it's that stuff's the most popular, and that's confined to like, I don't know, 10 to 25-year-olds or something like that. Like there's that's kind of the age range that mostly plays those. Not that
10-year-olds.
I don't know.
No, you're right though.
I don't know how old kids start playing video games. I'm guessing 10.
Probably 10.
10 seems like a fair guess.
Yeah, I've heard some 10-year-olds on Call of Duty or Halo for sure.
Right. So
I assume they're 10.
Yeah, it seems like that's probably your range, and so parents and stuff, they're probably like, oh, video games, that's for kids. Like that's probably where that kind of stays. But instead, I do think video games obviously are for everyone, and I feel like in playing stuff and the stuff we talk about, I feel like we see games that anyone would really like.
Yeah,
but
and I'll probably play them for a long time.
Yeah, I don't plan on stopping.
Ever.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, you can't make me. But Netflix, though, and an interactive story like this, that's for everyone. I mean, everybody has Netflix.
Yep. And shit, yeah, you could make, they have like Netflix for kids, you could make shows like that.
Right.
Interactive for kids.
Well, like they did the Minecraft for Telltale.
Oh, did they?
Telltale made a Minecraft thing on Netflix for kids.
Oh, I did not know that.
I've never done it or anything.
Oh, we talked about that really briefly.
Yeah.
Once. Yeah.
I forget which who I was talking to on Twitter, so sorry. But someone had said they had played it and it was out because I didn't know it was out yet. I thought it was gonna come out, but then when Telltale died,
stuff happened.
Yeah, when Telltale died, I thought it was not coming out. But they said it had come out, but they said it was the same as the game or very similar to the game. Which I haven't played it, so I don't know. But I guess it was about the same. But I guess with that being the case, that means you probably could transfer Telltale games into Netflix interactive movies or shows pretty easily.
Yep.
I hope it is. I would want more. Like,
yeah,
I would be interested in that. I think too, this might be too much or branching that. But even if you could combine VR with something like this too,
yeah,
that could be like future tech,
super future, but not that crazy.
Right. And obviously, each one individually are cool in themselves, but I don't know. Like, if you could be involved in those things. Yeah.
I mean, at some point I probably will get there. I guess one of my thoughts, like, I wouldn't want that to be just the only avenue for, like, TV or movies or something.
Right.
Because, there's obviously we both like to just, I'm going to zone out and watch whatever TV show.
Right.
Like, take a nap or something and watch this.
Right.
Which would be really hard to do if you're in VR.
Right.
Or not even just VR, but, like, doing I guess you could still do this. You could interact with this and just watch it. It would just make a choice for you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I would like it to be like a lot of TV or entertainment, but not all of.
No, right.
Or like an option for either.
Yeah. Well, and I think just if it's a small segment of that, just like the Telltale games or something like that, like they really, I feel like, had a lot of the market of this decision or that decision. You know? Like there's Life is Strange and some other games, or Until Dawn or whatever, but a lot of them came from Telltale.
Yep.
Most of them.
First.
And so And it doesn't seem like their games were terribly expensive to make even. So that would make me think Netflix with a bucket of money. This could be their thing to pour into, especially with with Disney. Once they make their streaming service and they take all the things that are Fox or whatever off, as that happens, like Netflix's content is going to get hit hard. Like as streaming services change, like Netflix could lose itself there. But if they're the good one in interactive stories, that could keep them around
for a long time.
Right, because their originals are good, but they make so many that it's kind of hard to know which ones are good or not good.
Yep.
But so if they did that and then they branched into interactive stories and had that be like one of the tabs on your thing that you could go through and there's, 8 or 10 things.
Be super cool.
That'd be sick.
Oh, yeah.
And then, if you keep some staples, like they just keep paying for The Office or something. Like,
I'd be into that too.
I saw a thing that said that The Office is like 13% of viewing on Netflix.
That makes sense.
Like,
I love The Office.
Yeah. I mean, it's the ultimate. I don't have anything to watch, and I'm gonna play on Reddit while I watch TV.
Yeah.
It's The Office. Like it's definitely that show.
I think I rewatched the season, like the whole thing, like last year.
Yeah.
For, like the 4th time. It's so good.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good. But yeah, I don't know. It could be the future for sure. I'm interested.
Me too. I'd for sure interact with it more.
Yeah.
Play it more.
Yeah.
I'll figure out a new verb for that.
Yeah.
Not playing it, but you're also not just I guess you're interacting with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's probably the truest definition of interactive story.
Yep.
Of them, because like Telltale games are still games. Definitely. Like you actually physically control them. You do various buttons at points. Like it's not only choices, whereas this is strictly choices.
Yeah.
So it's
purely.
Yeah. So you're interacting some. I would say you're definitely interacting. But
yeah. Not choosing as much. Well, you're choosing, but you're not controlling as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually a thing we mentioned briefly is I guess my last thought, but is I think I both like and dislike that you have to go back on your choices. Like we described with Telltale games or Life is Strange or whatever. Those ones, if you have an option to make a choice, it goes forward along that path no matter what. Like if it was one where it would make you go back, you just wouldn't have that option. Like, it wouldn't exist if you had to do a thing. So saving this person or that person, there's not a right answer. It's just the one you choose or whatever. So I like that in the video games, and I think that's what I would want in future interactive stories like this. I did like it a lot for the Colin stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, and it did make you feel crazier, and I think it worked in that part. But I don't know if I like that there were parts maybe after that could send you around. I thought it was really good in the Colin part, and I think maybe part because I thought that both actors did awesome there, especially. Yeah. But I don't know if I like that you can get forced back, because I think the story its branches should go long enough that whatever you choose, it should take you there, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's tough because, so thinking about like, let's say we'll say Walking Dead, Telltale game. If you get if you choose wrong, sometimes you do get killed.
Right.
Then it starts over from where you were.
Right.
So that in the one instance where you can jump off the balcony, it you're dead. But basically ends the story and you have to start over. So it's kind of like that. But then there are other things where, if you choose to accept the contract or whatever, it basically is over. That wouldn't happen.
Right.
In a game.
Right, in the games it wouldn't go that way. Well, and I guess too with like a Telltale game, so experientially, like with if it's where you get killed, so it was you did the quick time action wrong, like you didn't kill the zombie quick enough and so it got you.
Yep.
You would die. I was playing the Game of Thrones one a little bit ago, and it was the first time I'd had this happen. There was an option where you could get aggressive with a guy, and what ultimately happens is you get killed for it. And I thought that's what could happen, maybe, but I was like, no, I'm going to go for it. Like, this is the time to, be tough. And I did get killed, and it made me redo the action. And I kind of didn't like it, because I was like, no, I kind of wanted to accept the consequence.
Yeah.
Of, like, I should be able to be dead here, because there wasn't, like, in the Game of Thrones one, you play as multiple characters.
Yeah, so it's just in that story.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, kind of. It's like, I should have just been dead there. But instead, it made me do the action again, and so I knew I couldn't be too aggressive, so I had to choose differently. Like in this, in the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
Yeah, there's like trade-offs.
There's trade-offs. There definitely is. And I think that's something I would change if I were of that. But I think, too, for really, this is like the first version of this kind of thing I feel like we've played. You know, like we've played games, but that's pretty different than this itself. Like this is a movie. And I think, well, I don't know. I would think movies probably cost more than games. I think they're probably both expensive to make. Yeah. Because the thing when I've done like reading on some of this stuff is it sounds like developers don't always want to pay for these things because they're like, wait, so there's a bunch of shit people won't see. Mm-hmm. So like at the beginning of this, it said the quickest path is 40 minutes, but there's over 150 minutes of footage. So theoretically, someone could play this in 40 minutes, never see the 110, and so then they're like, why'd we spend 110 more minutes?
Yeah.
Like paying for this? Why'd we have to pay for all that if not everyone will see it? But I think that, so I get companies feeling that way, but I think that what makes these good is like the person paying for it should know, like, some people want to see all of it, but also there's part of like, I did my part and that's what's true. And I have a attachment and feeling towards that. And that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. You know, like the way I've played those different video games, some of them I have not gone back and changed anything ever. Like, or if I played again now, I'd probably play the same way. Like I would have a hard time going against what I do. Cause I'm like, no, this is how I did it. This is my canon.
The original. Yep. This is me.
Yeah. Or whatever. And so it's like, I don't know, but I think it's good that there's that, I don't know, the branching and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of my general thoughts. Do you have other thoughts?
No, I just really liked it. I think it's really well done. It's really fun to do.
Yeah.
Like I was in a room full of 20-some guys just yelling at the TV like, oh, do this, kill your dad, yeah. And I think we did this for like 2.5 hours. We're like really into it. Yeah. So it was well done.
Yeah. It's that's cool. Mm-hmm. I think this would be really fun to do in a group. I played by myself, but I was almost like, man, I wish I would have like convinced my wife to play or convinced other people to play.
Like you should get Errol to play. I might try to get Allie to play.
Right.
It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how
make them make the decisions.
Right. Right. Yeah, have them do it. Yeah. So I kind of know where it's going, but it'd be fun. Like I don't know. It'd be cool. A good intro for people. I saw online a lot of people, it seemed like, who were on like Christmas break with their family, were doing it with their family.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought would be cool. Like,
yeah.
That'd be a cool environment for this. But yeah, I really hope this just introduces a lot of people to interactive stories. Like, especially Telltale games. They're so easy on controls and stuff like that, that I think that probably people who haven't played video games could do it. Or like, you could probably pick it up on Steam and like you're used to the computer. You might have to get used to, I don't know, pressing the arrow keys or pressing D or whatever it needs for the answer.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it's set as. But like, I wonder if you could click even. I haven't really played on Steam much, but because my computer kind of sucks. But you know, like I bet that just a person could do that. You know, like who hasn't really played games. All right, I'll hop on my computer and try this out. I bet you could. And they're usually cheap, so you wouldn't even have to. Yeah, you wouldn't even have to invest that much. I feel like they're always on sale for like $8. Yeah. So,
especially now that they're out of business.
Right? Yeah, and I wonder if you can buy them now. I don't know.
Yeah, just steal them.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but you know, either way, like I feel like I could. My dad doesn't know how to play video games at all, but I bet I could put a Telltale game in front of him, and I would think he could sort of figure it out.
Like it's relatively intuitive.
Right.
If you know how to use a computer at least, it's like, you could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I would think you'd be able to get there. And you wouldn't have to give someone a console controller who's never held one. Because that seems like a barrier. People like, I've never held, what do you do?
How do you use both your thumbs and look and move? Like, that's pretty hard for people.
Right, yeah.
My mom, I've seen her do it, and it's not pretty to watch.
Right, or like when your PlayStation is your DVD player and your wife's like, you've got to do it. I don't know how. Or something like that, like because she doesn't game. Yeah. I've had that happen before.
Fine.
Yeah, which is fine, but it's like a foreign language or something, which to me it's intuitive, but I've been playing games for 20 years or something. So
long time.
Yeah, of course I know how to do it versus someone who's never done it or whatever. So, yeah. Pretty cool. So we got a little bit of listener feedback. Eve on Twitter wrote in, and she said, it's a bit of a mind trip, to be honest. Certainly was groundbreaking, and the concept is cool, but I couldn't help feeling super bad for being the source of this poor thing's unhappiness. Black Mirror never fails to blow my mind.
Yeah, they did that pretty well.
Yeah, it's true. You definitely felt bad, especially when he's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
who's controlling me and that kind of stuff, and you're like, "Fuck, it's me."
Yeah. And that's if I was not in a room full of a bunch of guys, I would have probably been way more like friendly towards him and just been like, "Yeah, we're Netflix. Here's why."
Yeah.
As opposed to like throwing like the symbol at him just to mess with him.
Right.
Which that's why we did it. Was like, oh, let's fuck with him.
No, right. Well, that makes sense. You've got energy in the room, so it's going to definitely go way more that way.
Yeah, we made all the bad decisions. Like, let's go with Colin. Let's kill ourselves.
Right.
Let's kill ourselves again. Let's kill ourselves one more time. See what happens.
Right.
We'll have Colin kill himself. It was like.
Right. You're going full crazy.
Yeah.
Which is definitely fun. That's definitely a way to do those things, and it's funny how those are different.
Yeah, I think we really chose all of the quote-unquote bad options you could do.
Right.
Like, yeah, chop the body up. After you kill your dad, chop it up. Don't bury it. That's too easy.
Right.
Yeah, kill Colin. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I felt kind of bad at certain points, but then I didn't.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just like, man, especially because he starts and you're like, I kind of like this guy. Like,
Yeah.
This is cool, and then you just find out more crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, man, this poor guy.
It's a rough life.
Yeah.
Yep, so last up we got Nikki on Twitter. Says, I think I finished it. I mean, I reached the credits, but also got the exit to credits option like 2 times too. It was super cool. Makes me want to rewatch it again and take notes during it. I feel the same way. I feel like when we finished it, we had gone through 10 different possibilities, maybe 6 different endings, 10 different total possibilities. And then at the end, you like kind of exit out of the show, and it shows you like how far into the show you were. We were like a fourth of the way through like the total time of the show. We're like, oh, we have to go back through again.
That's awesome.
So we did a little bit more, and yeah, I felt the same. It's like I would want to like squeeze this out for all the content it's worth.
Yeah, I know. There's definitely a lot I want to go to and just play through and take some options I didn't and see some of this, because I don't know. There's so much in here that like obviously I spent a lot of time on it, and I want to kind of see the variations for sure.
Yeah, or at least like YouTube it or something.
No, right. If I don't end up watching it, I'll just start YouTubing stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It was awesome. She ended up sending me a picture of her notes she was taking, and it was this cool branching path that she wrote, which was similar to this guy on Reddit. I forget his name, but someone on Reddit like posted a full breakdown of like all the options and all the branching paths. It's like a sweet chart. It was awesome. So look that up. If you just look up the Reddit like chart for Bandersnatch, you'll find it.
I found it.
It's like it's sweet.
Yeah, it's extremely crazy.
It's super well done, and could be helpful for you getting endings you haven't seen or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought that was super cool. Then, I saw someone being like, "Oh, you did what Black Mirror wanted you to do," or something like that.
Yep, you did funny. You were doing a Black Mirror,
right?
But you didn't go crazy and kill your dad or whatever else would have happened,
right? Yeah. So, super awesome. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back. I think with the Life is Strange comic number 2.
Yeah.
I think that's coming out next week, so I think that's what we'll be up with next. And then later in the month, The Walking Dead episode 3 from Telltale and Life is Strange 2 episode 2 also come out in January.
Super excited about both those.
So those
Actually,
are
all 3 of those.
Yeah, so a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming out in January, so definitely come back for those. Otherwise, if you have thoughts, please write in at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed@gmail. You can tweet us at StoryEverPod. Let us know what you think about Black Mirror or interactive stories in general, these upcoming video games, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.